All right, this video is going to talk about the composition of functions. Composition of functions is sort of a fifth operation. We've already talked in other videos about adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing functions. Basically just doing some basic operations. Composition of functions is a little bit more complex because it can really only happen with functions. It's basically putting one function inside of another one. Or as you notice the water buckets over here, we're going to put x into f of x. We're going to get an answer back, but now we're going to take that answer, put it into that g of x bucket, and get a new answer. So it's not like where we did things separately. Sometimes when we add functions or subtract functions, I could find f of a number, f of 2, let's say, and g of 2, and then afterward I could add or subtract or multiply or divide. This time I have to find the answer to f of x first, because then I'm going to put that answer into g of x. I'm not putting the same x value. I'm putting what I get back for an answer into g of x. There's a couple of ways to write composition. So notice over here, it really represents it well to say, well, if we're going to find g composed on f of x, we're going to find f of x first, but then I'm going to plug my answer inside of, note the outside parentheses there, inside of g of x, inside of that function. So let's just say, for instance, let's just name a number. Let's try that first. So what if we were going to find something like g composed on f of, and I'm just going to throw a number out here. Let's throw out a 2. Well, what I would do again is find f of 2 first. So 2 squared would be 4 plus 3. So again, if f of 2 equals 7, right? 2 squared plus 3, so 4 plus 3 is going to be 7. Now I'm going to find g of 7. I'm not plugging 2 into the function g, I'm plugging 7 in. So now I can put 7 in here. 2 times 7 would be 14, minus 5 is going to be 9, and my overall answer, right, would be a 9 there. Now it gets a little more tricky sometimes. If we're not plugging in a number, now we just have to do the algebra. And notice there's sort of two ways to look at it again. I can look at it as plugging f into g of x. There's also this little symbol right here. Notice how it's an open circle. Sometimes it's called the fog or the Goff function, depending on the order of f and g there. But basically right now, I'm going to take g composed on. That open circle means composed on f of x. So what we want to do is say, okay, I've got g, and we're going to take out f of x in here, and we're going to plug in x squared plus 3, which means anywhere there used to be an x in g of x, I'm now going to put an x squared plus 3. So if g of x was 2 times x minus 5, I'm going to take out again that x, and I'm going to plug in x squared plus 3. Again, we're just replacing what used to be the x inside of g of x now with all of f of x. Then all we have to do is simplify, a little distributing, 2x squared plus 6 minus 5, or basically 2x squared plus 1. And again, we could always take that 2 that we used over here at the right, when we were plugging the number in. We could grab that 2 if we wanted, and we could actually plug it in. 2 squared again would have been 4, times 2 would have been 8, plus 1 would have been 9. And again, notice we got that 9 over at the right. So again, that would be g composed on f of x. And again, we could have done the opposite order as well. We could find f composed on g, or really any function composed on another function. What it's really saying is do one set of operations, right, f of x, before you do the next set of operations, g of x. Let's take a look at a couple more examples. Again, if I want to find f composed on g of x, or what again could have been called fog, right? The fog function, f composed on g, both functions of x. What I'm going to do is take out g of x here. I'm going to say f composed on x squared minus 25, which means if f of x, right, is the square root of x plus 7, I'm going to take out that x that's underneath the root, and I'm going to go ahead and plug in x squared minus 25. Now, you might think you could simplify that, but remember, square roots of two things subtracted, we're kind of stuck there. Square roots don't distribute across subtraction signs. So basically, that is the best function we're going to get as far as that goes. So just keep that in mind. Now, down at the bottom, there is a slightly easier way. If they do give you a number like g composed on f of 9, remember, all we need to do is find f of 9 first. So we would say g composed on, well, f of 9 would have been equal to, again, the square root of 9 is 3, plus 7 would have been 10. So we just plug 9 into that f of x function. We get 10 back, so now I want to find g of 10. Well, if we plug 10 in here, 10 squared is 100, minus 25 would be 75, and we get our answer down there. Again, we're just plugging that number into our function, right, in place of x. Let's do one more set over here at the right. So again, we're going to do g composed on f, which means f of x is the inside function. So I'm going to say g composed on, and now I've got to say x minus 3 quantity cubed plus 1, or basically g of x, so 3 plus the cubed root of x. Well, remember, x is all of this, right? All that stuff inside of g of x there. So we're going to say x minus 3 cubed plus 1. But then don't forget, we also still had that minus 1 in g of x. So there's still a minus 1 inside of there. Well, plus 1 minus 1 is going to disappear. So we've got 3 plus the cubed root of x minus 3 cubed. The cubed root of something cubed just means we've got 3 plus x minus 3. And because those parentheses really don't matter, positive 3 plus x minus 3, well, 3 minus 3, we're actually just going to get back an x. Just telling you that whatever you started out with here, you're also going to end with over here. No matter what x we plug in, that's exactly what we're going to get back. So my guess is g composed on f of 9 then. Well, hey, if we start with 9, we should get back 9. Let's check it out. G composed on f of 9. Well, let's plug 9 in here. 9 minus 3 would be 6. Cubed is 216. Plus 1 is 217. So we get g of 217. There's a big number for us. But now let's plug that in down here for g of x. 217 minus 1 would be 216. The cubed root of 216 would be 6. And let's add that 3, and we get right back to 9. We started with 9, we ended with 9, just like we thought. I hope that helps you a little bit with the composition of functions. Remember, the composition is just saying we're going to do one operation before another, right? One operation before another. If you have any questions on that, make sure you talk to your teacher. Otherwise, have a great day.